Why,
Good
hello,
day.
Goo Goo.
Good day, good day.
It is, do you know you have an accent?
Is it an East Coast accent or is it like a
Hood?
mainlander Mi'kmaq? You a hood? I got a hood accent?
No, you
Holy.
don't. You don't have a hood accent.
I speak like I'm from the ghetto.
No, you don't have a hood one. It was just a funny joke that came to my head immediately. No, it's, I think East Coast. Yeah, East Coast.
Yeah. I've been told I have accent, but I mean, I've never. I don't know what it would be.
Yeah, East Coast. I'm just certain it's East Coast. There's Mr. Corey Moore. Good evening to you. Let's see if you know what we should do. We're gonna donate $25 if Corey Moore can stay awake the whole show.
Holy moly!
Yeah, we'll donate $25 to Inspire, and
he's gonna set an alarm so he can comment at the end.
Oh, well, he might.
45 minutes from now.
He could be a cheater without a doubt. But if Corey Moore stays awake the whole show, start to finish, without dozing off, and maybe we'll quiz him at the end. Only $25. Well, you'll match it, Corey, so they'll get 50 in total. There you go. There you go. So yeah, Corey. So stay connected throughout the show, and if you do, then you can support Indigenous. You can support Indigenous education, and but if you don't want to support Indigenous education, then feel free to match. It's all right.
I mean, we are in a recession, are we not?
We are. I think it certainly feels like it some days.
Yeah.
Do you know who's not in a recession?
Dubai.
Pop producers. Soda pop producers are not in a recession. I need to know why and how the average price of a case of 12 cans of soda has gone from $2.99 to $8 a case.
It used to be $3.
Yeah, well, so in fairness, on sale it would be $3, but it was $3.99 for the longest time, for years. So maybe they just needed to up it, but it's now doubled. I need to know how and why. So I don't know. I haven't researched it yet. But I need to know why pop has become so expensive. Like,
I know a lot of companies, like toy manufacturers, have been moving their production facility, like to different production facilities. A lot of them. It has to do with like probably has to do with the war and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it.
Maybe. I just don't know. What I know is that they make Coca-Cola products like 222 kilometers from my house.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I'm just confused by the pathway from that to here and how things have increased by 100%. I do believe, like, I can appreciate inflation. I really can. But I do believe strongly that there will be, in several years from now, inquiries and studies that demonstrate that a lot of corporations have really created greater costs than were necessary. I can't lie, I find it very frustrating because I'm relatively comfortable financially. Like, there are times where our business gets quieter and I get anxious, but I am relatively comfortable and can pretty much go into a grocery store and get what I need for me and my family. Like, I can do that. And I went to the grocery store the other day, and I'll name Loblaws in this. So I went to Independent, which is a Loblaws owned grocery store, part of their series of chains, right? And I bought a package of frozen no-name peas and carrots to make shepherd's pie. Make venison shepherd's pie.
Frozen peas and carrots.
Frozen peas and carrots. A little bag, just the littlest bag.
Oh, not even one of those big bags.
Not the big bag, little bag. At No Frills, that bag is $1.98.
How much was it?
At the independent grocery store, it was $3.99. I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, and I get that No Frills gets to be a little bit cheaper because they have less infrastructure costs, right? They don't have the same fancy displays. They don't have the same lighting. They don't, like, it is No Frills in its design. But I cannot believe that that means the independent grocer in my neighborhood doubling the cost is related to that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Matt says,
That's
quick
criminal,
way
man.
to Matt's. Nice to see you tonight, Matt. Yeah, I just cannot get there. I do not understand economics well enough, clearly, because I just don't believe that these things are like reasonable, because they're not going to go back down, right? These
Because
prices.
how do they normally fix inflation? It's just they just put more money into the economy, like they borrow money from another country, and then is that how it works?
I think so. Things like that, and they like the Bank of Canada, I think, has been doing a very decent job balancing and making sure that we stay in our position as a country, which is still pretty high in the G7, right? Like around how inflation has affected us. I think a lot of times we want to blame someone for it, and even in this conversation, I want to blame Loblaws or insert whoever, Coke or whoever, right? And so the and man says the prices are outrageous. Stop arming Israel and send aid to Israel, and sending aid to Israel.
Amen to that.
Not to mix up that sentence.
Yeah, no.
Tina T says hi from Port Hope. I don't know what she's doing in Port Hope. We talked earlier. And
Cool.
She left that part out of her story.
Update, Tina.
little road trip for Tina T. But it's just, I just cannot understand. I cannot understand. And I use pop as the example. And this week I had 2 cases, 12 packs of pop in my grocery cart at independent grocers. And it was 2 for $8. No, it was $7.49 a case if you bought 2. That was on sale. And I just was like, I cannot buy this.
$7.48, you say?
$7.49 on sale from $8
That's
a case.
crazy.
You bought 2 of them. I just couldn't. And it was like, and I literally, like, I just was taken back. Like, I was like, no. You're already charging me $4 for a $2 package of no-name vegetables.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, I'm like, that's where you'll get me, not in the pop. And
how much? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, go.
I was gonna say, how much has like fruit gone up since like the past couple of years?
Well, today I bought fresh strawberries for $2.
$2?
Yeah, $2 for strawberries. Like,
Wow.
so it's all relative. Lori says Google the salaries of the executives of Loblaws. And here's the thing, Lori. So I actually have no concern with the salaries that folks make, right? Like, as a rule, like the CEO, like Weston and that whole crew, like they've got a huge job, right? Like their job is rippled out, and granted the wage, like people talk about the wage discrepancy between someone working on a floor at No Frills and the CEO of Loblaws, right? And it is obviously, and I think they say it's like March, right? By March or February, the CEO has made more, or it's a matter of days, the CEO has made more than a frontline worker makes in the whole year, right? And but I can sort of appreciate to an extent, because those CEOs and stuff are responsible for this, like whatever it is, $180 million organization, or close to $1 billion organization, some of them, right? Like the responsibilities are huge. And again, I've been a long advocate for a living wage, right, across the board. Like, I think it's just like the guaranteed income. I think that is the move we need to make in this country. But I don't think it's even those salaries, although the bonuses are certainly being felt, like are demonstrating these high increases in prices. So the bonuses certainly, and the bonuses are on the backs of shoppers. There's no doubt about that. And that's what I mean. I think there's going to be something in the next 5 years where there's an inquiry looking into how costs inflated the way they did. Like, because it's not just there, it's everywhere. Like, everywhere. So it's Shawnee's birthday today, by the way. And so happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Shawnee. Nice.
Yeah, she's now 3 years older than JJ, than her husband.
Oh, hero.
Jeff, sorry.
Hero.
But so we went over and I picked up pizza to go there. 2 medium pizzas, right? 2
not large.
medium pizzas with one with 4 toppings and one with 2 toppings with a tip was $65.
Holy man. And you picked it up?
I did pick
delivery? That's crazy.
They didn't feed it to me. This is a local shop.
So did you get just 2 pizzas? Did you say anything else? Yeah,
2 medium pizzas. Ironically, I did get 3 pizzas because they mucked up the order completely. They didn't apologize for it. Their response was, "Well, you got an extra pizza." And I'm like, "But it wasn't the pizza I ordered. Like the ingredients, like that the birthday girl asked for. Like that's not here." And there was no apology, no anything. They were like, and I was just kind of taken back. I'm like, did I just spend $50 on pizza that isn't what I ordered? And then I didn't paid by then, so I didn't realize the tip and stuff. Bonjour, Ani.
And you still tipped them?
Pardon me?
You still tipped them?
I did because I was embarrassed. I didn't want to tip them on it. And I was embarrassed. I don't know if anyone else ever feels that way, but sometimes I was just like, I'm not going to not do it, but I'm like, none of you deserve this right now because they figured out that what they had done was read the order wrong. Because what they did is they took the order, which was for 2 pizzas, and they read it wrong. So they created 3 pizzas, one with 2 toppings. So the first one had 4 toppings. So the first had 2 of them, and the second one had 2 of them. And again, their mistake, not mine. They even showed me how they made the mistake. They're like, "We read this wrong." And no apology. No, "Oh my God, I'm sorry. Can we make this better? Can we fix it? Can you wet it?" Blah, blah, blah. It was, $65, 2 medium pizzas.
That's crazy.
That's insanity. Like,
that is wild.
That is absolutely insanity. I would never order from that place again. And the pizza was excellent too, by the way, but I would never, ever, ever order from them again. Like, if you go to
the movies now, it's so expensive. It's like $100 to go to the movies for 2 people.
Oh yeah, like it's yeah. You know what I got though that has saved me money is the Cineplex. Do you have Cineplex intro?
Yeah. Are you the Cine member?
Yes.
Yeah, I got Yeah,
and that's a great deal.
I get a free ticket every month.
Every month, and it's $10. The thing is $10 a month. So here's the money saver.
Cheaper than a ticket.
Yeah, it's cheaper than the ticket. So you get a ticket a month, and they roll over.
Yeah, I got like 5 of them saved up.
Yeah, and you can use them for multiple people at that time.
Yeah, they're so clutch. I love it.
Yeah,
and you get discounts on the food.
20% discount on snacks and stuff. Yeah, so it is a very good deal. I think it's so if you're a movie, cheap movie night too. Totally. When Paul
they still do that here, but it's like not much cheaper at all.
No, I think it's like $8 Tuesdays or something now. Or
maybe.
But it used to be, Paul, was it like $2 Tuesdays? Like I think it was. Like it was $2.
It used to be like dirt cheap.
Because I remember when I went up to $2.50 and there was like outrage. Yeah.
You used to be able to go to movies, popcorn and everything for like $20, I swear.
Totally. It was now you are right. Because quite often there'll be 3 of us that go, and it is over. Yeah, it's with, if it's just the movie tickets, and this is with the discounted movie tickets through the Cineplex or Cine Club or whatever that is, it'll still cost over $100 for snacks and 3 movie tickets. Insanity.
No.
Insanity. It is. Like, again, I can't. And it's so many businesses that are trying to make up for lost revenues during the pandemic. And the irony is we can't seem to do that. like our business can't do that. Like, and because what's happening is we're already having to do it in certain ways, right? Like our $149 hotel rooms are now $189, $199 a night. So that is an increase that we then have to move on to our clients, right? The meals are up about 30% at the hotels. And thankfully, the hotel we work with Atlific as a chain. Atlific is a company that manages properties across the country, and I'd strongly recommend people staying with them. They have the best Indigenous relations actions, not just policies, but actions. Our ability to be able to smudge and have ceremony and drum in their spaces is wonderful. The staff are delightful. It is. They are really, really solid. And so, but that said, they still have to respond to the market, right? So we have to bump our clients' prices up. And it is. So here you go. This is, I absolutely am too, Lori says, but when they're in the millions plus benefits and we're unable to produce a decent breakdown of where they're bringing their profits, cosmetics, clothing, it's quite puzzling. I watched the inquiry. Yeah, totally.
That would be interesting.
Like there is, and it is, I agree. Like they weren't very well equipped to be able to say this is where they're making money. And I think that it's going to get deeper in 5 years from now when people look back at this time, and I hope that we'll see that shift backwards, but we aren't yet. Like Paul is just saying, I remember when gas hit 50 cents a liter, thought the world was coming to the end. Do you know what gas is right now for my car?
Oh man, I just gassed up too. I forget.
Here, let's just look at
not cheap though.
Let's just look at gas, buddy, just to see what it is today. I didn't get gas the other day because
let's see, just go up to
$2.06. $2.69. $2.07 a liter right now. That's
crazy, man.
I'm going to be walking more, and I'm being genuine, right? Like it is, and 172 for regular, and my car sadly takes the fancy gas, and so it's $2.07 a liter. Like, blew my mind. Yeah. And
I remember even like before COVID, like I remember gas being way cheaper. Mm-hmm. I remember before I got my car, like driving, I'd like gas up my parents' car and stuff, the truck before, like after using it. And it would be like the same as I'm paying to fill my car now. It's insane.
Well, and we really have to be mindful of our northern relations, right? Who get gas once a year to the community, right? Maybe twice a year. And they pay the price of that day for the whole year.
Yeah, that's so criminal, man. When I heard that, I was rattled. And how is that even legal?
Well, just because that's the amount that they can get, right? They live in these now there is a greater number of those communities that have access. Hey, look at who's joined us.
Lana.
Hello, our very lovely Lana. So these communities, the nations that only get gas once a year or twice a year, at the end of the day, the difficulty is that they pay that price for gas all year round. And they have, Lori says, one grocery store, sometimes two, but it's brutal. And I think Paul has hammered this perfectly here, and maybe we'll wrap up our intro with this. I remember when we took care of each other, even neighbors and extended families, the community care of each other. It still does happen, but not as much. And this is what we can do differently. We can care for each other. We can open up our minds and our hearts. And here's a secret, our wallets. And we can do that because it is the right thing to do. And sometimes it might not be giving people cash, but maybe it's dropping some groceries off for someone in need, right? Or some cooked meals for a family that we know are going to struggle because they've got multiple kids and they've got this and that. And we can also just pick up the phone and say, hey, how are you doing? And I understand it's been a long week for you, my friend.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. I had a rough week. Before I say anything, I just give a shout out to, if you guys could drop some medicine tonight and this week. Dropped some tobacco down for my Giju and my godmom and my mom and all our family. Lost my great auntie Diana, passed away this past week. So her funeral's tomorrow, and so yeah, I found out about that like Monday morning, I think, right after the show. And then as well, if you guys could also drop some medicine down for the community of Williams Lake as well in BC. They lost a youth, Zaria Bowie, and she was an intern with me in Kenya, and so she passed away Monday morning as well. So yeah, if you guys could drop some medicine down for them, it'd be great. But yeah, it was a long week, and then poor Abed Monday morning had a seizure again. It was like 4 a.m. And so yeah, it was after the show. Actually, I got off the show. I like watched some Fallout and binge watched it until 4 a.m. and then got off. And literally, like as I got off, he was like acting weird, and then took the seizure and stuff. So I was up until like 7:30, just cleaning up. It was just like stuff everywhere, and yeah, it was brutal. It was a long week.
I'm sorry to hear that, and we're sending certainly our love to your family and to Williams Lake and all of those interns that you were with in Africa, and then as well to Abed as well. Abed in the morning, he needs to get back. So, goodness. Well, tobacco down and prayers up without a doubt. We are really lucky tonight. I can see him in the green room there. In 2019, Brendan and I, along with Simonik, it's hard to believe there was like 3 of us as the core of our team there, but with the support of JJ / Jeff.
JJ did so much work too.
Yeah, back here at home, and along with our teammates, our ambassador Wanique Hornmiller and others, we, as you know, we went to Peru, which is what launched last week's conversation around the Olympics in Paris this year. And we got the opportunity to meet and travel with this fine fella who is joining us tonight. His name is Carter Chiasson, and Carter is a teacher. I don't know if you're still a teacher, Carter, but are you still a teacher?
Yeah, I am actually. I'm in my 10th year.
There you go.
Oh, that's amazing. Look at you.
Yeah, a decade in.
On the First Nation. But
a decade.
Let me just talk better, but let me say good things about you for a sec.
Sure.
So Carter is a teacher, and in Nova Scotia, and we'll learn more about where he's at right now. But he's also an incredible artist, musician, and producer. Carter, when we met Carter, he had been working with young people and creating spaces for young people to use their language, Mi'kmaq, in music, in art, to be able to help strengthen the storytelling. And he has worked with young people in music in that space for now quite a long time. And we are super excited because this is a project of that we're going to learn about tonight, is an incredible project from what now, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm reading it correctly, is also now a whole movement and organization that has released a new track this week. And it is, if I'm not mistaken, where is it here? Let me just find this out here. Sorry. We Are the Love. And it is a track coming out of the EYM project. And so we're going to learn tonight a little bit more about, we're going to catch up with our friend who I've not seen. I don't think I've seen her. I think we've emailed once since like following up after the follow-up of Peru, but I think one time we've chatted about another song that you had come out, and then learn about the EYM project and this new incredibly powerful track, which we're going to share with everyone as we at the end of our show. So, Carter, welcome.
Good to see you, man.
Thanks for the kind words, Peter. Thank you. Yeah.
And where in the world are you?
So I even before I met you guys, I was living between two places, eh? So I own a house in the city of Sydney, which is about half hour outside the community of Escazone where I work. But I have a family that's about 2 hours away from the city in a community called Shetty Camp on the west coast of Cape Breton. It's a little village here, maybe 4,000 or 5,000 people. A lot of fishing, and fishing's the main industry here. It's a beautiful part of the world.
And when you say family, you are referencing.
Yeah. So for the last.
Is that where you grew up?
No, I actually grew up in the city. Hey, I grew up where where I have a house and close to where I work and stuff. But no, I met a girl up here about 7 or 8 years ago, and we got serious, and now we have a family. We have a little girl who's 18 months old now. Can you see her?
Oh, congratulations!
I'm trying to
living the dream. That's awesome.
That's big news.
Honest to God,
That's
Brendan, I feel like I am living the dream. I'm grateful, man.
That's beautiful.
Man. That's what she looks like right there.
Oh, she's adorable, bro.
Goodness.
That's about a year ago now, but
Wow.
Congratulations. That's
Thank you.
that's news. That's the story right there.
Yeah, that's huge. Beautiful.
So anyway, I've been traveling back and forth, so sometimes twice a week kind of thing, So I live away from home a lot of the time, So I've been doing that 5 years or so now, and since Claire was born, even I'm trying to spend as much time as possible here, but it's getting hard. Anyway, there's a clause in my contract as a teacher that allows me to take some time off, without pay. So I'm going to be doing that the next year or two. So after grading day this year, I'm not going to be teaching.
Oh, okay.
For the next year, anyway. For the next year,
Good for you, though.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Side note, do you know Darren Gugu?
Darren Gugu is the director of education member too, is he?
He is, yeah.
Mhm.
If I close my eyes, you two have very similar accents. Like you're very similar. Like
Interesting.
I as you were talking, I'm like, it's like if I close my eyes, I'd see Darren. Like that's very funny.
Good guy.
Not a relation to Brennan.
No.
No.
Guys, I've spoken with him many times. Incredibly smart guy, passionate about his work.
I would leave my job and carry his bags for the rest of his career if I could. If he asked me to. I think he is brilliant, and he has transformed what education in our communities can look like. And I've been lucky enough to travel with him and spend time with him and just listen and to beat that, he's also just delightful, right? And he's been on the show too, actually. He's been on the show. So either way, you commute between the two communities, and you teach in Escazone, and this year that's where you're teaching, right? You've been teaching in Escazone?
Yep, 10th year.
10 year.
10th year full time, and then the year before that I actually worked 3 or 4 months for them. This is my 10th full time year.
And so you would have taught our pal Ryan Tony Baloney from Escazone.
Ryan Tony.
No, Ryan
Teach.
Ryan Tony, possibly. I don't know. Like it's been a couple years, maybe, but
it would have been like.
Honestly, but I possibly, guys, I couldn't tell you for sure.
It would have been like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
His mom is Dawn Stevens.
Okay, I know Don. So Ryan's one of the basketball player guys.
Yeah.
Isn't he?
Yeah.
One of the basketball player guys.
Yeah. He went and played in Ontario or BC.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's here again. He's finishing up his program here in Belleville, just on the highway from us.
Oh wow! So I've met him before. I don't think I taught him. I think he might have left. I think he might have graduated the year before I got there, kind of thing.
Oh wow! You guys, I guess so. You know what? I always forget that you guys, Brennan, because he and Brennan are probably the same age.
Yeah, I think he's a year younger than me.
You guys are old. I forget that now.
Yeah. So he would have graduated high school probably the year of Vincent Ogama, right?
How old are you now, Brennan?
27.
27.
Because I was like 2 years removed from school, I think.
Yeah, that would make sense. You know, he probably graduated the year before I started working there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, either way, the work that you've been doing, you've been focusing on music. And so one of the things that when we met was you traveled down to Peru with us to support some of the artists that we had on that project. So we traveled to Peru with the athletes, but also a few of the athletes who had these other beautiful gifts as well. And particularly Gallo, right? Came with us.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Paula Johnson.
Yeah. And
yeah.
And where did we first meet her, Brennan?
It was it on that tour where we first met her?
Speaking to her, yeah, maybe, or because there's the sisters, right? She has two other sisters. Correct?
Yeah, Lainey, Bello.
Yeah. Lainey came with us too. Lainey, I hear, is in dentistry school now.
Yeah.
Goodness, right?
And then Carly's, I think, did she get her doctorate, or she's going for her doctorate?
Not sure.
Yeah, I think so. And was Carly on the ship?
No, Carly's the oldest. She was not.
So Carly was part of our work with the Governor General then.
Carly is the director of health, actually, for the community of Escazone now.
Yeah.
She's killing it.
And with a family of her own, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I believe so, yeah.
So yeah, Carly took part. Pardon me?
I said you guys went on a ship, you said?
Well, so Carly didn't. Carly came to the Rideau Hall project. We did a project, in fact, with Darren Gugu as well at the time, amongst others, around enhancing Indigenous education in 2016 for the Rideau Hall Foundation. And so that group that came together were the body that created a series of recommendations and calls to action around the same time as the TRC. And they were incredibly powerful and helped shift, interestingly enough, the MasterCard Foundation that was determining whether it could position itself in Canada. And lo and behold, they did. And with a focus around Indigenous education and young people. And so now Brennan works with the Uluwag Indigenous Communities Foundation, who the MasterCard Foundation, have been a partner of, right? And so those young people, Carly and the 35 others, created this fundamental shift around a focus on education, without a doubt. And
that was the Rideau Hall project?
Yeah, the Rideau Hall project, yeah.
That's amazing. I didn't know that. Honestly, Peter, like I need to learn more about some of the projects you guys have done, man, because they just sound incredibly special and important and powerful.
They are. Well, you know what? They really are, and they are special without a doubt. And you asked about the ship. Brennan, when we met Brennan, he was 20, I guess, and he and 44 other Indigenous youth, First Nation, Inuit, and Métis, sailed across the ocean from Halifax to France.
Heard about that trip. Yeah.
There was a few youth from Esky too. There was Ranchige, Cameron, Arden,
Sock sisters or something around there, right?
Yeah.
That's wow, Brennan. That must have been amazing. Wow.
It was insane. Yeah, it was just like living on a.
And it was a tall ship. It was a sailing ship.
Yeah, it was like a pirate ship, but like metal. And with an engine.
Incredible.
Yeah,
Simon gives me shit if I call it a pirate ship, by the way, but it is a pirate ship. Like, you can't.
I do love calling it a pirate ship. It's so funny.
Well, because it is. Like, if for the person who doesn't know different ships, it's a pirate ship.
It looks like a metal pirate ship.
Yeah. Well. So yes, and from all of that, we got this opportunity to design and deliver. What was the? Okay, your mom is your mom listening? Because I'm gonna pronounce it wrong again.
My mom? Msinogama?
No, not Msinogama. That I've mastered.
Migadadum, Peru.
Migadadum,
yeah.
So Migadadum,
Migadadum.
Where again, that's where we got to first travel with Carter to Peru, and your support of those young people, because we had young people, the athletes, but also the artistry, right? And sharing Indigenous culture from Canada, First Nations culture particularly, in Peru, while we also got to build our own knowledge and experiences there as well. And so let's just ask quickly, I bet Charlotte asked if we have a picture of the pirate ship. I bet we do. So Carter, what was when you think back to that experience joining us in Peru? What's your takeaway when you think about that?
Wow.
Experience?
Well, never in my life did I think I would get to, travel the way music has allowed me to travel, especially the places like South America. So just the fact that we got to go there and experience, a place that's so different and so removed from, the world that, I grew up in Nova Scotia is, it's just incredible, and I love that it still feels like the old world down there in a lot of ways, and I remember something else I think about when I was there. Well, in fact, also the people I traveled with, of course, meeting you guys and Willie, right? I actually ran into Willie since that a few times. What a guy, that we ate dinner one night and like some of the, I'll never forget that, and Marie, it was amazing.
Just to put in context,
a powerful trip, what?
Just to put in context for our friends at home, he's talking about Wilton Littlechild, Grand Chief Wilton Littlechild, and Marie Wilson, who are our elders on that trip, and who Wilton Littlechild and Marie Wilson were both two of the three commissioners with the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. And again, Wilton is another one that I would drop everything and carry his bag for the rest of his days. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. Went at the UN too, I believe, the other day.
Yeah, he was at the UN. We were, I think, chatting with him last week. He was at the UN with Avery Dockstader, who was with us in Peru, talking about Olympics and sports and young people in Indigenous space in the Olympics.
Yeah. Anyway, what a special trip! Something I'll never forget. And I stay in touch with some of the people I met there, and it's definitely shaped, how I view the world and how I approach the work that I do, So I'm grateful for the experience for sure.
Well, it was awesome that you were there and that we got to have such a strong cultural component. The night where we performed in that theater, where the young people performed, I offered to do an interpretive dance. Nobody took me up on it. I thought I could do like a Peruvian Ojibwe kind of combo. Everyone said no. Something about embarrassing the country or our community, or so.
I do recall you singing "Wagon Wheel," though. I remember that.
I bet I did. And but that night was phenomenal, and it was the ambassador was there, right? Canada's ambassador to Peru, and Peruvian delegation was there, and it was just magic, and it was wonderful to get to spend time with you and to be able to learn more about how you were using music to create space for voices to be heard. And that's really what all we try to do is create spaces for voices, right? And we use different strategies and tools, and quite often it's anchored in music, whether it's the production of a song and videos, which we've done as well. Lots of people do. Like, we know we're not the best at it in the delivery, but we've always been really strong in the process, right? The process matters. My clients sometimes don't like to hear this, but I'm often not concerned about the final product. It is the process that I think matters.
Just as important, if not more important. Absolutely.
It's where the healing comes from, right? It's where the connection comes from. It's where the linking comes from. So how do you do that in a school space? How have you been doing that in a school space?
Well, it's not easy, I guess, in a lot of ways, because, I'm a full-time teacher, and, I try my best to incorporate these projects into the classes I teach and stuff. But, and that does happen to a degree, but a lot of the stuff happens outside of school time, right? So, we work literally 5-10 minutes at a time, before school, at lunch, after school, whatever it takes to put something together. And then a lot of the time it's just scheduling and stuff, is a challenge, and there's always, what are we going to do? Right. And that's where the kids come in. I don't know, Peter. It's just, we get an idea and we run with it. And I'm the kind of guy that once I have an idea and I start running with something, that, I see it through till it's done,
That's cool that you guys do the like you'll work a little bit here, a little bit there. Like you're
That's
also
it.
teaching them that like you don't have to sit down and do it all at once. Like,
No,
just pick
I
at
wish
it.
I had the
That's
time to
probably a
do.
lot better, eh? Really?
Maybe because it gives you time. Because say if you work on something and you don't touch it for a few days, when you come back to it, you might come back to it in a new way. With a new idea or something. And I have often wondered if that approach actually leads to a better product in the end. Quite possibly, for sure. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
Totally
no, that
does.
makes perfect sense. Thank you. Yeah, I've never made music film.
Yeah, I'm really
It is
not very
weird.
but I can play very good drums on my belly. Like I've got a grandpa belly, and I'm very, very good at this.
I got a belly too. COVID gave me a belly.
COVID and a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How do you
my son's quite slender, but my grandson's 3 now, 3.5, and
Okay.
he's like very small, but he's got a little bit of a dad belly happening there.
Yeah. Well, that's my goal over the next year while I'm taking some time for myself is to
nice.
get fit again.
Excellent.
How do you get the youth to like think very big about these projects that they're doing? Like how do you get them to think about scale, and how do you like are you even having conversations like that, like when like
Mhm.
if you make a project and it goes international, like how do you support youth in that? How do you guys even go about that?
Yeah.
I don't think, honestly, like I don't think the goal is to make a viral video or anything like that. Like Peter said, it's about the process. It's about getting the kids involved in as many ways as possible, and putting out something of quality. And with regards to it, a lot of people watching it's that's great, and I really hope that happens. But it's not really the goal. So I hope that answers your question. But
No, it does, yeah.
it's just I think big, and I think I convey that to all the kids involved. Hey, let's do something really cool. Let's do something really special, and and I hope they trust me, and we go for it.
There you go.
That's awesome.
The Empower Youth Music Project, is that through the school, or is that a sort of a side piece that you're working on?
Yeah. So during COVID, remember the last time I was on your show? Actually, we were there talking about a project I did through the school, but it was called Ancient and Forever, right?
Yes.
And the whole concept there is that we wanted to. I had this idea where I wanted to write a song in 4 languages, right? The 4 languages of Cape Breton, right? Mi'kmaq, English, French, and Gaelic. And it's something that I thought about, and I was like, "Oh my God, that's a massive undertaking." Right? How are we going to do that? Anyway, I don't know where I got the idea, but I thought back to this song that I used to love from this CD by J.P. Cormier, like 20. It was out for 20 years ago, and there's a song called "Ancient and Forever," and it featured 2 gentlemen from Eskazoni on there, right? The guys in Morningstar. I don't know if you heard of those, Peter. That's brilliant music. Anyway, so he had this song called "Ancient and Forever." Anyway, I dug it out, and it was just, I knew instantly. I was like, we don't have to write a song. This is the perfect song. Right? So my partner I mentioned earlier, Nicole DeVoe, the mother of the beautiful baby girl I showed you a picture of, she's an incredible musician and artist and teacher. She actually taught music in school up here for the last 12 years. Anyway, I said, well, let's do this together, and, she's a native French speaker, so she translated the French part, and she's, very active in the French music scene, and I was, knew everybody on the Mi'kmaq side of things and on the Celtic Gaelic side of things, So we did this project together, essentially. We produced it together, eh? Anyway, since then, I think that's the first thing we did, and since then we've done a bunch of smaller things. And then people start asking us to do stuff, right? Like we're taking contracts, doing these types of projects. anyway, it just went from there, right? Anyway, so people are asking me to do projects outside the school system, and I was like, well, I don't want to just say it's produced by me, right? I want to create, a brand, I guess. I'm not really thinking like that, but that's kind of what it is. It's just, it's called the EYM project, but actually EYM, Brendan, are you familiar with the word aim? Mi'kmaq word aim? Yeah. And it means
cool.
I am here, right? So I produced this song by these kids in Eskasoni, and they needed a band name. And we went through the whole Mi'kmaq lexicon looking for a band name for them, eh? And what I was shooting for was the word AIM. I was like, you should call your band AIM. I am here. That is like so poignant. Anyway, they didn't like it. They called themselves something else. And so when I was looking for a name for my my project here, I decided to call it the AIM Project. And sure enough, you could make the acronym EYM, Empower Youth Music, because that's what it's all about. It's about empowering youth through music. So I called it the AIM Project, and I went and I got the YouTube channel and the website and all that. And the first project was a song and video by Emma Stevens, who's a Mi'kmaq artist who I've worked with, for 7 or 8 years. And it's called Ballad of Shubenacadie, and it came out last fall. So we put that out, and that did really well for us. And then trying to decide what to do next, I resurrected this old idea that I had, and that's the idea that became this new song, We Are the Love. And it was a journey. It took about 1.5 years, actually, to put that song together, and it just came out last week. So I don't know if you mentioned it or not, Peter, but it involves, the concept is that there's Emma Stevens and another young artist from Eskasoni named Devin Paul. It's them with youth from Canada and from Ukraine, right? And we got together. I met a teacher in Ukraine through the UNESCO Schools Network, and that's a global network of schools that I'm involved in. And that's how that came to be.
That's unreal. That must be magical. Like, what an experience that must be.
Like I said, though, it's 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. And, eventually it all came together, and it's a big team effort. It's not just me. A lot of people came through in big ways, like all the youth you see in the video on the Canadian side of things. Their teacher is a girl I met through the music scene here. She's played on projects, records I've produced and stuff, and we have mutual friends and everything like that. Anyway, she came through huge for me. Devin and I did a song together about 9 years ago, and we've been talking ever since about doing another one. Anyway, when I sent him the idea, he came back essentially with what is on the record. It's just, he's a genius.
Awesome.
An incredible performance.
He performed at NAG, right?
What's that?
Did he perform at NAG?
Yep. So that was the last song of the opening ceremonies of NAG.
Oh, cool. Yeah. That's cool.
It wasn't out at the time, but producers have been talking to me, and I pitched the idea to them, and they
said, let's do it. What was the last song of NAG?
The opening ceremonies of NAG was a big event at the Metro Center in Halifax, and the final song of the opening ceremonies was that song. And
like the song, like We Are Love.
Yeah, We Are Love. Yeah. So it hadn't been out yet. It hadn't even been performed yet, right? But I had like a half-finished version of it, and I had been talking to the producers of the events, because Emma was performing there, and I played with her, and I said, "What else you got?" And I sent them this, and I said, I think this would be a great opening or closing number for the show, and so
that's so cool.
Well, why don't we introduce our friends at home who are tuned in? Why don't we introduce them to this song? And what you're going to see when I saw this video this week, and it's not the first time one of your pieces, Chuck Carter, is like that ancient and forever. And we put the link in the comments there too for folks. Mm-hmm. It is a fantastic track. That was like that came out, and you're right. That was the last time we had visited. Was here on the show and talking about Ancient Forever. And I honestly forgot that track. Like I need to find out. Is it on Apple Music? Do you know?
Yeah, everything I've ever done is on Spotify, Apple Music, and all the big streaming services.
And I'm going to put it in
There's
my
video, YouTube, right? Like all the songs have music videos.
Yeah,
I'm big the music video side of things, So,
well, why don't we watch the music video for "We Are the Love" with young people from Eskazoni, young students, and young people from the Ukraine. Away we go.
We are the love, we are the spark, one voice singing in the dark. We are the light shining through one heart, me and you.
Let's take a moment of time and see each other for who we really are. We have the same heart, the same love, the same feelings, the same courage, the same strength, the same courage to go through and push through anything inside of this world. Let's link our hands together, show each other what love really is and never forget it. Let's bring this back to a world we be happy to see. A place we call home without war in the streets. A soul born free, even in moments of defeat. All we need is a moment of peace, a moment to breathe. True love and compassion, turn the lights on again. Where color don't matter inside of the audience. Everyone rejoice in the room, we're applauding it. Emotions run deep if we all have a song to sing. We are the kids, we are the world, the next leaders. We are the mothers and fathers, we are the brothers and sisters. In this thing we call life, we're surrounded by sinners. We disappeared right now, will anyone miss us? We need to question politicians when these times get heated. Like we're spreading across the land where the people been seated. In these dark days, all we need is a reason to believe in ourselves and one another, cause these days can change like the seasons.
We are the love, we are the spark, one voice singing in the dark. We are the light shining through one heart, me and you.
It seems like the same story repeating again. Inland, overseas, all we need is a friend. Maybe even a helping hand, a lend. Bless, no stress, time is the real test. For generations we've been wanting out of this mess. Change is all we won't settle for less. It's time to stand up now and keep our voices strong. If you can't teach a kid, then adults can get along. We can all stand on top of the world together. A peace of mind we can all have forever. Hands linked as we all have each other. No more screaming and crying and ducking for cover. Violence and hate we can do without, believe it. As long as we can work it out, we can achieve it. Close your eyes and let the love flow and feel it. We are whatever we want to be, so open your eyes and see it.
We are the love, we are the spark, one voice singing in the dark. We are the light shining through one heart, me and you.
The same love.
We are the love, we are the spark, one voice singing in the dark.
The same feelings.
We are the light shining through one heart, me and you.
Let's take a moment of time.
We are the love, we are the spark, one voice singing in the dark.
We got the same heart.
We are the light shining through one heart, me and you.
The same courage, the same strength.
We are the love, we are the spark, one voice singing in the
The
dark.
same love, the same feelings.
We are the light shining through one heart, me and you.
Well.
That was so cool. That's wild.
That is brilliant. Absolute brilliance. And so can you tell us about the Ukrainian connection there? I'm going to put the link there in the chat so folks have it. But so those young people, those children in the Ukraine, they've seen the video now?
What's that? Oh yeah, yeah. So it all came about because originally, Peter, this project, I wanted to have 7 different schools, right, involved in this. Right? But it's proved to be like an incredibly difficult thing to put together. Originally, we're going to have kids rapping. Like the scope of the project, got condensed over time, right? So anyway, but the Ukraine people, came through in a big way. They actually created their own version of the song with a rap in Ukrainian and everything. It's incredible. We're gonna publish it at some point. Yeah. So anyway, I met the teacher through the UNESCO Schools Network. So that's, like I said, it's a global network of schools. Every province in Canada has a provincial coordinator, and I'm that person from Nova Scotia. So anyway, the Canadian director at the time, helped me find these people to collaborate with, and so I sent a bunch of emails, and this one particular teacher in Lviv, Ukraine, came back and said, "Let's do something," right? And I said, "Well, yeah, let's go for it." So, the song just came together over time. Like a lot of times when you create art, your original, vision, ideas, and concept like change. Over time, they morph. So this was no different.
1, 2, 3.
Sorry.
No worries. So we worked together, over the last, say, year, putting that together, and and then so like I said, a huge team effort, right? Not just on the artistic side of things, but on the technical side of things. Every one of these projects is different, but on this one here, on the technical side of things, essentially all I did was just record all the vocals. I made the beat, the initial beat, and I recorded all the vocals. And then there's this producer here in Cape Breton called Jamie Folds who did tons of programming and turned the thing and changed the arrangement, just made it into what it is now, and just incredible. And we hired a videographer as well to do all.
It was an excellent video. It was excellent.
So cool.
Mm-hmm.
What a cool legacy piece for even like all those kids involved.
I know, right? I actually spoke to a reporter yesterday about this, and he says, "Do you think about that?" And I said, "Absolutely." I said, "I really hope that like YouTube's still there in like 50 years, so that these kids can look back and watch that,
You have to keep those thumb drives in a safe.
Yeah.
Exactly. It kind of reminds me of that. Have you watched The Greatest Night in Pop yet? Have you seen The Greatest Night in Pop?
Oh, I know it's a documentary about the We Are the World.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, no, I haven't seen it, but I've seen the trailer.
It is certainly worth watching. It was excellent. It was absolutely fascinating to listen to how that came to be and how that and it's similar to this sort of model, right? Like this, you bring together the artists, the logistics behind it, the this, the that. And watching that, and it was interesting, Lionel Richie, and I did not know this prior, the pivotal role he played in the delivery of We Are the World. He hosted the AMAs that night in Hollywood. And what they did is they worked with a whole whack of, they looked at the artists who were going to be at the AMAs and got them to come after the AMAs. So skip the parties and recorded till the next morning.
Wow.
And it is amazing to watch. And Quincy Jones had made this sign. There's this little clip there. You'll see it. The sign says, "Leave your egos at the door." Because these are the biggest names in the music industry in the world at the time, right? And I would strongly recommend it. It is excellent. But Carter, I'll tell you what, Carter, anytime you're interested, because this stuff we really like this as well. And what we like is the development piece, right? Is the development of the lyrics, the development of the messaging, the development of because that's the piece of the process where we have watched some incredible healing take place. In 2022, we did our signature project was for Pathways Canada, an education program, an after-school program across the country, and a group of Indigenous young people crafted, and you can find it on our website, on our YouTube channel, a song, Every Child Matters. And it was generated by the young people through discussions about their lived experiences, their hopes, their aspirations, their needs, and crafted this song and music video. And we normally do it in 4 days or less, right? Like, and because you only have them in a space for a short time. And
But you can't talk about this and not mention. I hope I'm saying it right, but the Norwegian project.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Exactly, yeah.
Absolutely stunning what those people do.
Brilliant.
Yeah, same idea.
Exactly, same premise, and really, because at the end of the core of it is that music is medicine for me. I listen to music all day long. Like, I listen to it when I'm working, I listen to it when I'm walking, I listen to it when I'm driving. It is medicine that heals me. Like, and one day it can be Linkin Park, another day it can be Lionel Richie, another day it can be Bruce Springsteen, another day it can be Rihanna. Like, it just goes. Like anything from Snotty Nose Rez Kids to Lift Me Up. Like there are moments where just like songs just heal me, and music heals me, and I've watched it, the effects it can have on young people, right? And so anytime you want to do something really cool and exciting, you let us know. And big shout out to Lana. She's put the YouTube link there for Every Child Matters there in the chat. And anytime you want to do something cool in 4 days or less, you let us know.
I would love to do that. And, like, I'm taking these next 2 years off, to be with my family, my daughter. But I really, want to work at building the AIM project into something special, And so, let's do something. By all means, let's do something.
Sounds very good.
Yeah.
Before you go, I would like to share. For our friends at home who haven't seen it. Ancient and Forever. If that's all right. I think it's such a great track. I haven't heard it in a long time, and I think it's an important message for folks to see that collaboration, the most powerful acts of reconciliation, because the reality is the education system has historically failed. And intentionally failed our people, right? Historically speaking, and I say historically, meaning even last week.
Oh yeah, we talk about this whenever Emma and I perform. I actually say something about that before we perform that. The song I mentioned earlier, the Ballad of Shubenacadie. As a white Canadian, I didn't know about the residential school system until I was in my 20s, possibly my 30s, which is crazy, right? We have a long way to go towards reconciliation, right? So hopefully these projects, teaching people some things.
Well, I hope so.
That's sorry.
No, go, Brandon, go.
I was gonna say, don't feel too bad about that, because like that's still a thing today. Like, kids in school still don't know about residential schools and stuff, right? So it's all that education. So sorry, Peter.
And these projects are the path to it, I think. I think these are the projects. These are the things, bringing young people together from different backgrounds, different experiences, has an opportunity to create shifts and changes. And I've been doing this for 30 years now, like more than 30 years. And at the end of the day, the most powerful moments are when young people come together, each with their own journeys, each with their own stories, each with their own gifts, their own challenges, and they come together and they create this space where they get to find that freedom. And they build connections and relationships they never knew they were going to, not just with each other, but their culture, their identity, the land, something bigger than themselves in some way, right? And if when people ask me what the number one thing our young people need as First Nations young people, what they need, from my takeaway, I can't tell them what they need, but I can certainly say the young people who have those things, those connections, are the ones who are able to move forward in a good way in this world and be healthy and be safe and be happy. Doesn't mean they all need to be PhDs or have Junos. It just means that they have to be healthy and happy. And if they're healthy and happy, they're going to raise healthy and happy families.
Well said, Peter.
So let's listen and let's watch this in action. Carter, I am so grateful that you joined us tonight. And I look forward to an email from you saying, hey, let's do something. And we will find a way. I don't know if you picked up at the front end, but we are working diligently to bring a group to Paris for the Olympics this summer. Some of the old team from Peru has come back together. And I don't think I can share it publicly where it's from, but we did receive our first small little grant.
Let's go.
Move the next step. We've got application going into the next step. We did learn that Paris is not Peru. Budget perspective, Paris is not Peru.
Oh my, yeah.
Um,
World, you talk about inflation.
Oh, I literally was stunned,
The
silly,
euro.
like stunned, silly to see the prices difference between Peru and Paris. But I think I'm pretty traveled, right? Like I'm pretty worldly-ish.
Yeah, but you don't. To be fair, Peter, you don't ever go to like developing places or like.
No, I went to Paris I went on vacation in Paris last summer in England.
Yeah, but
Like-
Peru, like.
Yeah, Peru
We've
was
gone to like the shops or like to the hotel and stuff.
well, it was very inexpensive, needless to say, Peru was.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And Paris is not. Fun fact. But
Was it expensive after Megadano? Or after MC Nogama, sorry? Like all
Pardon
the
me?
programming and stuff in like Le Havre and stuff?
yeah, but we were only there for 48 hours, really, right?
Oh, yeah.
And we
I always
arranged-
forget we were only there for 2 days.
Yeah, so Carter, so Brennan and the rest of them, when they sailed into France, they arrived in Le Havre, France.
Mhm.
And so a group of us met them there, including a bunch of parents. And we met them in Paris, in Le Havre. And then we had a closing dinner. And basically, we just rented out a restaurant. And we fed you all escargot. So it was like
It was good.
cheap on the cheap. You all get snails. And then we spent the next day we headed to Paris for the day and then stayed at the hotel, had one last dinner and flew home, right? So it was a pretty quick and easy turnover and stayed out by the airport, if you remember, like the hotel stayed close to the airport because we had to leave early. So it wasn't that notable, but this is apparently the Olympics is a big deal. I was unaware.
That trip, that sailing trip, Peter, was that a 3 things trip? Was that
Three things.
AFN,
And Illinois.
Halifax.
The Mi'kmaq Native Friendship Center.
That's incredible, yeah.
It's Waterfront. They
Wow.
have a new name now, but
Yeah. And then the Holden Leo. The tall
and
ship.
the like the ship that we had chartered, and then the last one was Saint Mary's,
Oh, yeah. No, Mount St. Vincent.
Mount St. Vincent. Sorry,
Yeah, MSBU.
yeah, and yeah. So, but we designed it and delivered it. Yeah, so
Amazing.
yeah. Okay, well, we're gonna play this track, and Carter, you're welcome to stick around for it, and we just want to share it with folks because it really is such an amazing example of what happens when we all come together. And remember, folks, we've seen one comment at 7:57 from Corey. We're going to see if he sticks around till right to the end, and if he does, we're going to make a donation. And you know what we'll do? We'll make a donation of $25 for each Brennan, Carter, and myself to match the $25 from 3 things. So we'll donate $100 to Inspire, partly because last night was the Indspire Awards. Next week we'll chat more about that. We were going to talk about it tonight, but we'll talk about it next week.
He did comment Lionel Richie 10 minutes ago.
He did, yeah, exactly. So yeah, so we think, just so you know, Carter, Corey often falls asleep before the end of the show, so we just want to see if he's staying awake tonight. So here we go. This is just an amazing track. It is called Ancient and Forever, and it's a series of schools from Cape Breton, correct? And JP
Cormier, who's the writer of this song, the original artist, right? And then just a lot of there's a lot of guests on there, like, you know, notable Cape Breton musicians, like members of the Baron McNeils, Ashley McIsaac, you know, good friend of mine, Russ Sullivan, who actually was also one of the writers on We Are the Love, is in there. You know, my partner Nicole, my stepson Tommy's in there. There's I think there's like 60 different people in there. Anyway, we did this during COVID. It took 5 or 6 months start to finish, and it was a challenge to say the least. You know, it was we like the kids in the first verse. I remember they all had to come to the school, and they all had to be in waiting rooms wearing masks, and then I'd record a kid, and then I'd have to sterilize the microphone, and you know, like it was it was a lot of work. But yeah. I'm so glad we persevered, and in the end, I like to think that it's something special. As
am I, and Corey does say, "Don't listen to me," just so you know. Don't listen to him. And Atlanta, who these two are always fighting to be the number one fan, she would never fall asleep during come walk with us. There you go. Here's Ancient and Forever, my friends, and. Once we will wrap up the show now, I think, and Brendan Gugu, sending lots of love to your family this week, and tons of love to Abed as he makes his healing path forward. As always, it is a highlight of my week to get to hang out with you. And Carter, it has been lovely to visit again. Congratulations on the birth of your daughter.
Thank you.
It is an exciting journey you're about to undertake. And it's kind of amazing. And so I am, I don't know if you know the teachings, Anishinaabe teachings. I imagine, I don't know if Mi'kmaq teachings are similar, but in our teachings, in a nutshell version of them, is that in the star world, the babies are waiting. And those babies are waiting, and they pick their parents. They know before they come into this world who they're going to be with. And so just know that certainly from where we sit in the world, she picked you. And I think that's significant. I think it's important to remember that. It is, she picked you.
Thanks, Peter. Thank you. Thanks so much, guys, for having me on. It was really great to catch up. And, let's definitely do something. I'd love to be part of one of your projects again. Our trip to Peru is like life-changing for me. And, I'd love to do something else and be part of a Three Things project. And if anybody wants to know more about my work or the AIM project, just drop me a line. You can find me on social media.
Awesome. Yeah. And I should just say this, that Corey has now reported Facebook to Lana's comment to Facebook under harassment.
That's hilarious.
Okay, I feel like we're gonna have to pay $100 because it looks like he's still here. But we're gonna test him next week on this song and to see if he really listens. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great night. Brendan, do you have any last words before we say goodnight?
Oh, just Wallen and everyone for tuning in, and Wallen Carter for just doing all the work you do, and just starting what you do 10 years ago, and for sticking around and helping, just working in community and just uplifting youth and empowering and never just always sticking around and just continuing to do good work and good medicine. Yeah, well,
thanks, Brendan. Really appreciate that.
I know the community really appreciates you too. So
yeah.
Well,
thank you.
And I want to point out that Carter's station has one more subscriber than we do on YouTube. We need to fix that.
The AIM project? Well, I'm going to fix that because I'm going to subscribe to Three Things.
Oh, then I think we might be Steven. Our goal is to get to 1,000 by the end of the year. Brennan, we're going
Does that put us at 2
2 people.
2 subscribers?
No, your campaign is working. We've gotten I think 6 new subscribers since you.
Let's go.
So we only
One a day.
We only have
One a day.
950 left. So okay, here we go. Good night, folks. Here is
Everybody, take care.
fantastic track.
On the multis.
1, 2, 3. I have been here since the moon was just a child,
And the sea flowed like a crystal stream. The trees grew strong upon my mountains wild, and the sky was the bluest you ever seen. Bluer than the sky in an eagle's dream. Deloitte jigna una magi, aktet wali sampotet ni. Mami amani pni petitadi je, kado abakid wanda si. Daneruji wala sotisni. I am ancient and forever, and they call my name Cape Breton. I have watched 1,000 seasons fill the beauty of my shores. The hand of God has touched me. In your quiet you can hear him as he wanders singing quietly in the hills beyond your door. J'ai versé quelques larmes en fin de journée pour ceux au loin qui se sentent endormis. Is een greater en ik morgen. Nos enfants ont voulu une nouvelle vie. Ils se sont établis en amitié. Jamais ne seront-ils oubliés. I am ancient and forever, and they call my name Cape Breton. I have watched 1,000 seasons fill the beauty of my shores. The hand of God has touched me. If you're quiet, you can hear him as he wanders singing quietly in the hills beyond your door.
I am calling to my children, come back home.
Some will carry a hook's fish down the mall. In Belladox, some abichidayo. Alors que l'ex surveille là-haut. Elle a l'osso de ma pannoiseau. I am ancient and